In this lecture, we will study the percentage or the proportionate method of measuring elasticity of demand. In the previous lecture, I have provided you with the details of elasticity of demand, wherein I have explained the significance of elasticity of demand over the law of demand and various types of elasticity of demand. So let's move on to this method. Now, the elasticity of demand according to the percentage method is measured by taking the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded to the percentage change in price. So, elasticity of demand is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in the price of the commodity. Now, as all of you know that price and quantity are inversely related to each other, so the elasticity of demand will have a negative sign associated with it. But for simplicity and convenience, the minus sign is conventionally dropped while measuring the coefficient of price elasticity of demand, because it is pretty obvious that the elasticity of demand with respect to the price will always be negative. So when we measure this percentage change in quantity demanded, that means that is equal to change in the quantity demanded upon original demand into 100. What is percentage change in price? It is change in the price upon original price into 100. Now this is the new quantity. This is the original quantity before the price change. So new quantity minus the old or the original quantity will give you the change in the quantity demanded. This is the original quantity, right? So this will give you the change in the quantity demanded upon original quantity demanded. And new price minus old price upon the original price will give you the change in the price upon original price. We have not carrying forward these hundreds here because you can just eliminate them from here. So that is basically a ratio of change in quantity demanded to change in price. So delta is a term that we use for change. So from here you can see that change in Q upon Q divided by change in P upon P. Change in P upon P. We just rearrange it and we get this. So the elasticity of demand is this. Elasticity of demand is change in quantity upon change in price into P, that is the original price, upon the quantity. If the elasticity of demand is equal to 1, if we calculate the elasticity of demand measuring this method and we get it equal to 1, then we say that the elasticity of demand is unit elastic. If the elasticity of demand is greater than 1 from the calculation, then we say that it is more than unit elastic, that the elasticity of demand is elastic. If by using this method we get the elasticity of demand is less than 1, then we say it is less than unit elastic, or we call it inelastic. Remember that we are ignoring the negative sign throughout because it is obvious that the relationship between price and quantity is negative in nature. Now let us move on to some numericals here. So here what do we have? We have price is equal to 20 rupees, quantity is equal to 200 rupees. These are the original quantity. And the price falls to 15 and the demand expands to 300 when the price is falling to 15. We have to find the elasticity of demand. So the way to do this is that you find the change in price. Change in price is P1 minus P. So the new price here is 15. So you write it as 15 minus the old price. P is equal to, what is it? 20. So it's 20 minus 5. We'll ignore the minus sign when we start calculating the elasticity of demand. So the change in quantity is this, right? Which is equal to the original new quantity is 300 minus the original quantity, which comes out to be 100. Okay? Now we know the formula for elasticity of demand, which is change in Q upon change in P into P by Q. Now the only task left is to substitute these values. We know that change in Q is 100. So we write here 100. Change in P is 5. We are ignoring the negative sign that I've already told you. Original price is 20. Original quantity is 200. So you will see that after calculating, this will come out to be 2. So the elasticity of demand is equal to 2. That means 2 is the coefficient of the price elasticity of demand. 2 is the coefficient of price elasticity of demand. And when the elasticity of demand is greater than 1, then it is elastic demand. So we say that the elasticity for this commodity is very elastic. Let us move on to the second numerical. Now it is very essential to understand the language of the numerical. So at a price of 20 per unit, so the original price is 20. The quantity demanded of a commodity is 300 units. So the quantity demanded for a commodity, that is the original quantity, is 300. If the price falls by 10%, that is the price is falling by 10%, which means that reduced price of a commodity is what? 20 minus 2, which is 10% of 20 is equal to 18. That is P1 is equal to 18. That is the new price of the commodity is 18. Its quantity demanded rises by 60. It says that the quantity demanded rises by 60. That is change in the quantity demanded is equal to 60. Now we know the formula of elasticity of demand, which is equal to change in Q by change in P into P by Q. We just need to plug in the values now. What is change in Q? Change in Q is 60. What is change in P? Change in P is P1 minus P, which is equal to 18 minus 20, which is equal to 2. We are ignoring the negative sign again. Into P. P is the original price, which is equal to 20. Q is the original quantity, which is equal to 300. And we again get 2 after calculating this. Therefore, we say that the elasticity of demand for this commodity is very elastic. Now, let us move on to the numerical examples. Third, now at a price of 4 rupees per unit, a consumer buys 50 units. The price elasticity of demand is given to be minus 2. How many units will a consumer buy at a price of 3 per unit? Now we have the original price, original quantity, elasticity of demand at minus 2 and the price, which is the new price. So we know that the change in price is 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So elasticity of demand is equal to change in Q by change in P into P by Q. We have elasticity of demand, which is equal to 2. We are ignoring the negative sign again. Change in Q is unknown, but you know that Q1 minus Q upon Q will be equal to Q1 minus 50 upon 50. So, upon change in P will be what? Change in P will be 1 into P is, where is P? 4. And this is Q, which is equal to 50. So you can say that change in Q into 4 by 50 will imply 50 into 2 by 4, which is equal to change in Q, which implies 100 by 4 is equal to change in Q, which will be equal to 25. Now you know that the price here is falling from 4 to 3. Price here is falling from 4 to 3. So when the price is falling, the quantity tend to rise. So you can either you can calculate this, that is you can find out Q1 minus 50 upon 50 is equal to 25, or what you can do is, you know that change in Q is equal to 25. If I add this amount to the original quantity, I will get the new quantity demanded. Q1 will be equal to original quantity plus the change in quantity, which is equal to 50 plus 25, which is equal to 75. So the new quantity demanded will be 75 when the price has fallen. You can calculate this also, it will come out to be same. This. Now let us move on to the fourth numerical example. It says that due to 10% fall in the price of the commodity, its quantity demanded rises from 400 units to 450 units. That is, this is Q, this is Q1, this is percentage change in price of the commodity. This is 10%, okay. So due to 10% fall in the price of a commodity, its quantity demanded rises from 400 units to 450 units. Calculate the price elasticity of demand. To solve this, we will first solve the percentage rise in quantity demanded, because we already know percentage fall in the price. So this will come out to be 12.5%. That is the the new minus old upon original into 100. So when we solve this, we'll get 12.5%. We know the elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price. Percentage change in quantity demanded is 12.5% and the percentage change in price is 10%. So 12.5 upon 10 will be equal to 1.25. Again, we get that the demand is elastic. With this, we end this lecture. In the next lecture, I will cover the total expenditure method of measuring elasticity of demand and the geometric or the point method of measuring elasticity of demand. Subscribe to my channel.